Parabolic stop and reverse is an overlay that identifies reversal points between stock prices uptrends and downtrends. For full reference, I recommend that you read Veles Wilder Jr., New Concepts in Technical Trading Systems, published by Commodities Magazine, now Futures Magazine, in 1978. Its calculation has the following steps. A. Extreme point calculation. For this, we have the extreme point in the uptrend, which is equal to the highest high in the current uptrend. Then we have the extreme point in the downtrend, which is equal to the lowest low in the current downtrend. B. Acceleration factor calculation. Acceleration factor in the uptrend, we ask if there's a new high in our extreme point in the uptrend, then the current acceleration factor in the uptrend is equal to the previous acceleration factor in the uptrend plus a growth factor, which in this case is 0.02. Else, current acceleration factor in the uptrend is equal to previous acceleration factor in the uptrend. Then we have the acceleration factor in the downtrend, and we ask, if there's a new low in the extreme point in the downtrend, then the current acceleration factor in the downtrend is equal to the previous acceleration factor in the downtrend plus that growth factor, which in this case is 0.02. Else, current acceleration factor in the downtrend is equal to the previous acceleration factor in the downtrend. C. Parabolic stop and reverse calculation. Current parabolic stop and reverse in the uptrend is equal to previous parabolic stop and reverse in the uptrend plus the previous acceleration factor multiplied by the difference between the previous extreme point in the uptrend minus the previous parabolic stop and reverse in the uptrend. Current parabolic stop and reverse in the downtrend is equal to the previous parabolic stop and reverse in the downtrend minus the previous acceleration factor multiplied by the difference between the previous parabolic stop and reverse in the downtrend minus the previous extreme point in the downtrend. Great. So let's go back into our Python PyCharm IDE so that we can study parabolic stop and reverse with greater detail. Excellent. So here we are back within our Python PyCharm IDE. In this lecture, we'll be working within parabolic stop and reverse code file. If you have any question about its setup, please go back to section 1, Stock Technical Analysis Data lecture, where all of that explained with greater detail. So, as all of these are meant to be standalone type of files, first we do our packages importing. NumPy as MP, Pandas as PD, Matplotlib as PLT, and Talib as TA. Then we proceed to do by default our data reading by creating our SPY data frame, which is our Standard & Poor's 500 ETF, pdpandas.read_CSV, the path to our text file right over here contained within our previously created data directory, which includes CSV or comma separated values, index column as date, and we parse those dates as true. Then we proceed to our technical indicator calculation. Therefore, we create a new column, SPY, parabolic stop and reverse, equals TA or Talib, parabolic stop and reverse, or SAR, and we provide NumPy as array, high, and also low prices. Notice we are also here defining the parameters of our technical indicator, our acceleration at 0.02 and the maximum at 0.2. Again, this can be modified according to your needs. Then we have our technical indicator chart. Take 1, comma, AX for axis equals PLT dot subplots open and close parentheses. Then AX plot our close prices together with our parabolic stop and reverse. Notice we're using marker O, which is a dotted type of marker, and here line style blank because we don't want any lines connecting the dots. Then we have PLT title, which is SPY close prices, and parabolic stop and reverse SAR with the corresponding acceleration of 0.02 and maximum acceleration of 0.2. The legend is located at the upper left and we show the chart. Excellent. So let's proceed to run the code by clicking the right button on the mouse and scrolling down into Run Parabolic Stop and Reverse. So here we have our chart. Let's make it a full screen. It needs to be done manually because of the screencast. Right over here, all the way into the right, and also all the way into the bottom. So we have our corresponding chart. Its name is SPY close prices and parabolic stop and reverse, SAR, with that acceleration factor of 0.02 and the maximum of 0.2. Then we have the vertical axis, which is our prices, the horizontal one, which is our dates from the beginning of 2016 to the beginning of 2017. Then focusing on the legend, we have as a solid line our close prices, and then the dots corresponds to our SAR or parabolic stop and reverse. So, as the name implies, what we have here is, for example, downtrend, stop and reverse, uptrend, stop and reverse, downtrend, stop and reverse, uptrend, stop and reverse, downtrend, etc., etc. And this is how the corresponding technical indicator works. Excellent. So we are going to close these charts as well, as we'll study them later on. So with this, we finish with our lagging type of technical indicators. Now it's time to continue with our leading type of technical indicators, and we'll do so by starting with our average directional movement index, which will be our following objective.